you guys, happy 4th of July. Today is the second episode of Big Arms. So what we're going to be doing is triceps. You guys seem to enjoy the bicep routine. Now we're going to be doing triceps. So when you're out there and you're popping back a couple of beers, maybe you're eating some hot dogs and some burgers and you're getting ready to blow some things up and enjoy your Independence Day, well, here we go. But first off, you're going to have to grab some of these. Then we're going to mosey our way over to this side and work with some of these. And of course, you have to have some of these. All right, so warm-ups. Here we go. This is what I'm going to use. I actually start off with bands because of my triceps. I like bands in the sense of the tension adds itself in as you go through the movement. One of my things is the initial hit. I feel it in my elbows. So this is just one of my things. So bands come in handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them, I'm not going to stay out here. I'm going to keep them kind of close to the body here. And I'm just going down. That's it. So I'm going to actually step back a little bit to add a little more tension to it. So from here, I'm not trying to stay out in front. I'm trying to keep my elbows by my sides. And you can see I'm kind of coming back that way. And that's it. This is all I'm going to do. So I'm just going to warm these up. And do like maybe one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All I'm doing is what? Getting the blood flow. I'm not necessarily counting. I'm just trying to get the blood flow. Now, if you're working out in the gym, I could flat out tell you every gym's going to have bands. Now, they might not have handles. It might be, I got one over there, but it might be like the rubber bands. At that point, we'll just fist that sucker, you know. I mean, that's pretty much all you got to really do is just wad it up on your hand and do it that way. And you can add tension by different distances, looping it a couple of times above. I'm in the squat rack doing this. It's a nice thing about not being at the gym. I don't have to listen to somebody, hey, you can't do that in the squat rack. Well, doesn't matter, it's my squat rack. So this is going to be one way that I warm them up. It's just like doing cable pushdowns, okay? Second way that I'm going to warm them up is, I'm going to come grab the camera. Sorry guys, I'm going to be moving you here. Ooh. So I'm going to put you up to the front here. Now, hi. So, second side of this, because I'm using my bands, now I'm going to do a mock press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold them out in front of me down here, down low, and I'm just going to bring it up, down. So when my triceps feel like they're finally getting some blood flow into them, and as you can tell, I've already gone through this, but all I'm doing is now kind of mimicking narrow grip bench press. So I'm just working this. This is almost like a jam press, but not quite. So I'm just getting the blood flow into it. Now, at that point, you can go through and run through how many sets, it's up to you. Now here's another one that I enjoy doing because of the fact that you're going to be using your lats and things like that. I like doing a pull down. So if I'm here, I lean forward, I just pull it down. What I'm doing here is I'm gently warming up the lats, a little bit of shoulders, but I'm kind of warming up the lats a little bit here. Why? Okay, well when I unrack the weight, I have to unrack it, hold it, and then I'm going to press. So I'm making sure everything feels good, so I'm letting it really kind of pull me up, get that stretch, back down. If I want to add more, I'm going to come closer to you, and then I'm going to add more. Okay, so at that point, that's going to be my warm-up in that. Then I would go over to cables, and then I would do push downs, and I'd add a little weight to it. Same thing as what I did in the beginning. I don't think I got to show you guys that, but I like bands in the beginning. Then move into cables. Then what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll just go with the bar, and I'll feel how, make sure I'm not getting any impingements, everything feels smooth, everything feels good. And then I'll load like 135 on, and I'll do the same thing and kind of run through that. So I tell you what, I'm going to show you guys setup of how you can do this, and then we're going to get into the weights. All right. Okay, setup time. Here's my handy dandy little fake weight. This is my old trust and true This is my little stretching PVC pipe. Now here's what you're gonna do for your initial setup. So many people will try to do a narrow grip bench like this, to where the old-fashioned ones put your thumbs together and then grab and then come down. Notice how janky my wrists are? See how that is? You are gonna screw yourself up doing this stuff, okay? If you do that, you are gonna hurt your wrists. Don't do it that way, okay? Also, if you do the thumbs, doing this and you get ready to go, when you do this, you're so narrow, you're gonna actually shoulder shrug. We don't wanna shoulder shrug. We wanna actually use the lats on the way down for that stability. What I don't wanna use is traps and rear delts. What's bigger, your lat or your rear delt that's the size of maybe a potato? Exactly, you guys know the answers to that. So at that point, I want you to take your grip and I want you to open it up. Here's how you do your grip. So what you're gonna do is fists go on the sides of your rib cage. My pec line is right here. That is where I'm gonna land on my narrow grip bench press. So at that point, I'm gonna come across here. I'm gonna bring my elbows in. I'm gonna make fists. So at that point, now I'm gonna go straight up. At that point, I'm gonna grab the bar. So, knowing where I'm at, so then I'm gonna grab the bar. When I take it down, I'm gonna be right here. Now look at my wrists. See the difference there to there? It's a straighter line, okay? And I'm not gonna get hurt or have the possibility of hurting myself. Percentage drops immensely. So at that point, I'm gonna be right here. We're gonna throw the arch in. I'm not doing this flat. You're gonna set up just like what you would on a bench press. This is the version that I'm giving you. There's a couple of different ones. This is the version that I'm giving you. So you're gonna set up just like your bench press. So we're gonna be right here. At that point, you're not lifting and going like this. If you see this bar at your face, you're pressing this way. We don't want that. I want all the stress in the tricep, right? We want big old massive arms. We want to hit that 21-inch club, right? Right. So at that point, it's called down and away. You will hear me say down and away, down and away. We're gonna get that arch. We're gonna bring it in, boom, right here, down and away. Well, that was pretty much a straight line, right? Let's take the arch out. Arch is out. Arch is in, arch is out. Now I'm kind of down and away. When I do down and away, my traps stay down low, and I really focus in on pulling my lats. Think of when you do like lawnmowers and lat movements. When you're pulling, you don't pull up like this, right? Because what are you doing? You're pulling traps. So we're keeping it down and low. Okay, down and low. There we go, okay? So what do you say we start getting moving on some lifting? Okay, remember, this is warm-ups. You don't necessarily have to count on your warm-ups. Get some blood pumped in there, okay? Now, you might look at it and go, hey man, you were all over the place. You were doing, there we go. You're doing bottom halves, top halves, stopping midway and going up. I'm checking everything within that movement, okay? That's part of warming up. Is everything in the section good? I've already warmed up. This was the last of kind of going through this for me. If you feel anything, okay? If you feel anything, don't move forward, okay? You should get a green light. Move to the next stage. Got a green light? Move to the next stage. All of a sudden you feel an impingement, pain, whatever. Stop, okay? Stop. We want to move forward in this whole journey, okay? We don't want to just feel pain and then we just don't get out of this, this little rabbit hole. You're never going to make progress, okay? Listen to the body. Remember big belly breath, not big chest breath, big belly breath. Pregnant belly. Like what we did on doing curls and like what we did on overhead presses. That's where your core is going to come in handy, all right? Just tightening your abs compared to expanding all the air in there and lowering all the internal organs and just getting everything to stay a nice hard core, that is going to be one of the biggest keys. If you're embarrassed that you're on the bench and it's like, man, it looks like my belly's out to here. Do you want to lift, or do you care what everybody else is looking at you about and going, why is he doing it that way? Well, the reason why you're doing it that way, better core support, okay? So let's do it. So at that point, and yes, I got to move the camera here because I got you on a little bit of a tip so you can see what I'm doing. Boop. Sorry for the shake. But again, big belly breath. It's not, okay, I'm getting ready to do it. No, because at that point, your core is not as tight. It's here, big pregnant belly, okay? More core support. Very crucial in this, all right? We want that nice tight core support. Let's keep going. So, now, what you'll notice I'm doing is the dimmer switch that I've talked about before, okay? Dimmer switch, just in case if some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's a slight pause, like what I'm doing, and I've done this in other episodes and I've explained it this way as well. I'm hitting, and instead of trying to just rip the weight, I am manhandling the weight a little bit here. As I go, dimmer, not just on off, dimmer. Kind of start out slow, you kind of hit, and then rump, rump, and you're going through. You slowly push it harder. So many times we do it, and subconsciously, we just kind of push and okay, it's moving, and you don't give that 100%. You think you are, but see if you can speed it up as you're going through your movement, you know, because if you bring it down and all of a sudden you just kind of press and you kind of keep that same pace, you might be able to go a little quicker. So this is what's helped me, and this is my 2 cents. Some people will disagree and agree and whatever. But I've always thought of a dimmer switch, like you kind of take the power and you go, when I need it to be there, I can turn it on and off like an on-off switch. But if I do it like the dimmer, it's kind of being gentle on the tricep for me, and I do have to watch it just because of the decades of abuse on this sucker. So I had to kind of teach myself, put this in my mind as a dimmer switch. So you kind of notice where I'm down, and then I'm back. So it's more of a snap at the top, bringing it back down, and just getting that control of the weight. That's where the manhandling portion comes into play. So I hope that makes sense. You guys can try it. It might be beneficial, or it just might be something that has made sense in my mind and it's completely useless. So that didn't feel too bad. So we're gonna go up a little bit. Yeah, 5 good ones. There we go. Didn't feel too bad. Okay, so on the 350, got it for 5. Could I have gotten another one? Yeah, I could have. But we want to do 4 sets of this. So I don't want to just burn myself out. I saved one in the tank. I want to see if I can make 4 sets of 5. If I can make it to the end and I hit 5 at the end and maybe I have one more, I'll do it then, okay? But I want to make that goal, all right? So that's just how I end up doing it on this. You can try to max out and then max out and max out. Sometimes what happens is you'll get 6. Well, the fact that you gave everything that you had, next time around you might get 4. Next time around you might get 3. And for that 4th set, you might still get another 3. Okay, well, I'd rather get 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, no, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah. This is moving more into the bodybuilding side, okay? So what we're doing is, we're getting an incline bench. All right, now, you're gonna set this down a little more than what a normal incline would be. For me, it is. Some of you might do inclines instead of being here, you might do inclines here. But you can kind of see where my angle's at. I want to be able to lay back a little bit, but I do not want to be flat, okay? So incline. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come straight across from here, and I'm going to come from right here, bring the elbows in slightly or down slightly, and then from there, proud chest, always proud chest, all right? We're going to come from here, open, and here. So imagine like you're still doing your narrow grips. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from here. So if you were to do bad narrow grips where your hands are really, really close and the elbows are out, and then you try to press, well, here's the thing, make your fists. Notice how all of a sudden your shoulders drop. When you do this, you have to shrug. When you do this, you don't shrug. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open the hand up. When it gets to right about here, when I'm about here, I'm going to press. So I'm opening it up like a hinge, so I'm not going to end out way out here. When I hit this point, it becomes a press. This takes some technique, you guys, okay? So it's here, open, press. So what I'm doing is I'm really working the hinge of the elbow. What did I just say about feeling pain in the elbow, this and this and this? Okay. We're not going super, super heavy. I'm gonna go heavy, but I'm not going super heavy. So it allows me to work the hinge. But this also helps with bench press. Also, think of when you do hammers, or I'm sorry, when you do ropes. All right, everybody's heard, when you do ropes, you focus on that outside portion of your tricep. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm doing ropes. Similar to ropes. That's why I'm going to hit this outer portion of the tricep. So what are we getting from this? We're getting thickness. Besides working on the long head, which will be next, working on the long head, which is the hang, which is that hang of the tricep. Now we're working on thickness. So when you're walking around in a t-shirt, that back of the arm is thick. How do we gain size in the muscle as well? It's not just front to back. It's all around in thickness. So this is going to help. So again, just to recap, like your fists are right here, bring the elbows down a little bit, boom, here to here. Go light to begin with. Get the green light. You're doing a new exercise. Go with something. You're warmed up. The body's warmed up. You got blood and everything. But just do a feeler. Okay? So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to do a feeler. Here's what we do. Bring up. Start like a press. Start like you're doing your incline. All right? Shoulders back nice and tight, chest proud. Lay it down right there. Now instead of having the elbows way up here, bring them in slightly. Right to there. Okay, hopefully you guys get that one. So, what do you say? Let's start working. All right, let's keep going. Oh yeah. Rep range. Let me move you here. Hello. Rep range. Power sides, we're in that 4 to 6 range, roughly. It'll change, but we never go above 6 or 8, not in a power movement. This, 8 to 12. Okay, I just did 10. Again, that was still kind of feeling things out, but it made me more in that 8 to 12 range. Okay, makes sense? Let's keep rocking. All right. Pow. All right, you guys. Woo, we got to keep on trucking. So, am I doing every single set with you guys, showing you everything? No, because I know this is going to be probably a 20-minute long video. So, a couple more to do. We're moving to the next one. I got 2 more sets on this to do. So, I'm going to nail those. We're going to move on to the next section. Here we go. All right, you guys, now we are on the end of this, okay? So this is what I'm gonna have you do. This is gonna be a superset, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're doing cables and we are gonna do a seated dip. Now, if you cannot do a seated dip like what I'm gonna show you and what I'm gonna demonstrate, because it's a little wonky in the shoulders, don't do it. Then go over and do a regular dip or use the dip machine, all right? But this is what I'm gonna do for this. So first things first, I want you to get a wide grip lat bar, like a lat pull down bar. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be grabbing way out here for our triceps, okay? Now I've already gone through and done all my cable stuff. This is the end of it. And like I said in the beginning of this, I'm showing you guys 3 basic things for power, for bodybuilding, and hypertrophy, all right? Now, for you guys that are beginners, you'll be able to do this and it's gonna give you what you need, okay? For it more advanced, this is just some extra stuff that you can try, throw it away, or put it in your repertoire. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use wide. Now, why am I doing this compared to being here? Okay, this is why. Do this. Take your arm, put it dead by your side, and then flex your tricep, all right? Flex it. You can feel how real tight everything is, especially in the long head. Now, keep your thumb pointed up. Start moving the arm up. All of a sudden, you're gonna notice when you get to about here, that even keeping it squeezed as hard as you can, you don't get the same engagement. Now, this is what's gonna happen. When we're doing close here and we're staying here, notice that my triceps are out here, okay? I'm not here. When I get here is where I can tighten up that long head more and I can get more blood packed into that muscle. Okay, well, what do we need to do? Get ourselves out of the way. Go wide, and as you go from here, you're gonna go down and boom, you're here. Now, if you notice, my arm's right by my side. I'm gonna move my hands in. I have to move my shoulders forward, okay? So I hope this makes sense to you guys. So we're gonna go wide, keep the shoulders back. All right, so we're gonna stay back here and we're gonna go down. All right, so let's hook this up and let's get moving. Nice and wide. Immediately, your hands are going to be right by your butt. All right, we're not going out super wide. Ooh. Ooh. All right. So that was 25 and 20. Are we in hypertrophy? Yes, we are. So again, get your breath back. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill the rest time a little bit. All right? So on your power sides, we're gonna try to go 1.5, 2 minutes, no longer than 2 minutes. On bodybuilding side, 45 seconds to a minute. Now, is this written in stone that you have to do it this way? No, it's not. This is a roundabout to kind of get you into your sweet spot. There'll be points where you'll be able to just kind of go, I'm ready to work. But know if all of a sudden you're talking too much or things come up, you look at that clock and you're 2 minutes in, you need to get moving. That's a tap on the shoulder, you need to get moving because you're gonna get too cold and you could possibly hurt something. So with this, again, I did 25 and 20. Now I'm gonna kill the rest period a little bit and I'm not gonna get as many, but that's the point. That's what we're trying to do. So it turns it into a little bit more cardio-ish. So let's get moving. Ah, oh, whew. Whew, they're burning. They are burning. Oh, ooh, ooh. Oh, all right. So, as you can see, didn't get nearly as many. What I'm doing is, when I'm feeling my body starting to come down, and I'm feeling, not the blood leave, because they're pumped, but when I start feeling like things are starting to come down a little bit, if anything, it's, ooh, excuse me. Oh, when I feel my breath coming back, and I'm there's just a point where it's like, I know I'm ready to go. I know if I waited that 2 minutes, I could then do, 25 and 20 or whatever. I don't want that. That's not what I'm going for. I've already done that. This is now keeping the heart rate up a little bit, keeping the blood flowing and pumping into those muscles because we just already got done tearing them up, right? So at that point, I want to put as much oxygenated blood in there. I want to pump those things like a balloon, the most that they can get, and I want to keep it there. And I want to just keep that blood pumped in there. Like I said before, like you're squeezing out a rag. Just, you're squeezing that rag out. So, let's get ready for another set. Obviously, I probably won't get that many this time around, but that's not the point. That's why in the beginning, it was really, really high, where you might have looked at it going, man, you did like 25, and then you did, I don't know, what did I do, 18 or 20 there. Yeah, but I knew how bad you're gonna drop. If you set it up where you do like 10 and 5, you're not in hypertrophy. Hypertrophy minimum is gonna be in that 15 range. We'd like to see you into the 20s. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to fail right now. So where I was at was pretty good. That's why I'm taking my rest period and crunching it down. But enough talking, let's go. are burning. Nope. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Seems to settle in at kind of that same number there. Ooh. And I mean, it should be kind of that needles and pins, that good pump, that good burn. We're flushing everything out, you guys. All right. So I tell you what, I'm going to hit another set. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys pull away from this episode some good information that is going to help you get bigger, get stronger, more durable. So this is the end of it. I'd like to say share, like, subscribe, of course, ring that bell. Got to throw that in there. And please have a beautiful Independence Day. Keep all your fingers and toes. Know that this is the last day that somebody's only going to have 10 fingers left. Hopefully it's none of you guys. So be responsible. Take care of you guys' selves and families. Give everybody some love, all right? And enjoy this Independence Day. Thank you very much, you guys. Have yourselves a good one.